I hear it every night. The sound of her falling. 16 years in this place, and every single night, every single one, I hear that sound, the thud, the silence after, and then nothing. Just me, in the dark, listening to a sound that already happened. They put me in here for an accident, a terrible, senseless accident, and I've been listening to it on repeat ever since. My name's Stanley Webb, 80 years old, certified public accountant, or I was anyway. I tell you what, I spent 38 years making numbers add up for other people. Tax returns, payroll, quarterly filings. I could make a spreadsheet sing. That was my gift. Everything in its right column, everything balanced to the penny. And the one thing in my life that didn't need balancing was my marriage. 41 years with Diane, 41 years without a single, not a single. I mean, we were happy. We were genuinely, completely happy. From the day I met her at that church social in '68 to the day I lost her. We had a house on Meridian Street, not a big house. I'm a CPA, not a CEO. 3 bedrooms, a yard where I couldn't grow tomatoes to save my life. Diane used to laugh at that. She'd say, "Stanley, you can audit a Fortune 500 company, but you can't keep a tomato plant alive." And she was right. I tell you, that woman was right about most things. She ran that house like I ran my office. Everything had a place, everything had a system. We raised 2 kids in that house, Michael and Sarah. Michael's a lawyer now, up in Chicago. Sarah teaches 2nd grade. Good kids, good lives. Diane was the kind of woman who remembered everyone's birthday. Not just family, the mailman, the woman at the dry cleaners, our neighbor's kid. She kept a little notebook, had it by the phone in the kitchen. Every name, every date. She never missed one. People ask me what I miss most. And I could say the house, I could say the job, the routine. But it's simpler than that. It's the sound of her voice when I came through the door at 6:15. Every night. "How was your day, Stan?" Same question, same voice, same time. You don't know what you've got when you've got it. That's not wisdom. That's just arithmetic. You can't calculate the value of something until you've lost it. I've gone over that night 1,000 times, sitting in this cell, running the numbers, running the sequence, because that's what I do. I find where things don't add up. And I'll tell you something. That night doesn't add up to murder. It just doesn't. It was a Tuesday, October 14th, 2009. I remember because I'd been working on the Henderson Quarterly. Big client, complicated returns. I came home around 6:15, same as always. Diane was upstairs. I was in the kitchen. I poured myself a glass of water and I sat down at the table with my briefcase. The stairs in our house, you have to understand, they were steep. Old house, built in the 40s. Narrow stairs, hardwood steps, no carpet. I'd told Diane, I'd told her 100 times. I said, "Diane, we need to put a runner on those stairs." She wore these slippers, these smooth-bottom slippers, and those stairs were... I was downstairs. I was at the kitchen table. I heard there was a... I went to check on... I heard the fall. You hear a sound like that, and you know before you see anything. The way it echoed through that house. I ran to the bottom of the stairs, and she was there. At the bottom, her neck was... She was just lying there, and her eyes were open. And I was downstairs. I need you to understand that. I was at the kitchen table. I was nowhere near those stairs. I was downstairs with my briefcase and my glass of water and the Henderson file open in front of me. The police came. The paramedics came. And the very first thing the detective said to me was, "So where were you when it happened? Not, are you okay? Not, I'm sorry for your loss. Where were you?" Because that's how it works, isn't it? The husband. It's always the husband. I was a 64-year-old accountant. I weighed 160 pounds. I wore reading glasses and orthopedic shoes. Look at me. Does this look like a killer to you? They said I pushed her. They said there was an argument. There was no argument. We didn't argue. We never, in 41 years, we never had the kind of fight that we just didn't. That wasn't us. The prosecutor stood up in that courtroom and painted me as some kind of monster. Said I wanted the house. Said I wanted to avoid. Said it was about money, about assets. I'm a CPA. I've managed millions of dollars in other people's money. You think I'd kill my wife over what? A house on Meridian Street? Our savings account? Look at me. I'm 80 years old. I'm in here. And Diane is gone. And none of it makes sense. Because it was an accident. A terrible, awful accident on a steep staircase in an old house. And that's the truth. That's all it is. You know what haunts me? The last thing she said to me, before she went upstairs, she said, well, it wasn't anything special, just normal things, regular Tuesday night things. But after the argument, she was just walking. She was walking to the stairs, and I was in the kitchen, and she must have slipped. The slippers, the hardwood, it was just a moment, a single moment. That's all it takes. After she fell, I made a phone call, and then I called 911, and I sat on the floor next to her until they came. I held her hand. It was still warm. The trial took everything. The house, gone. Legal fees ate through our savings like termites through wet wood. Michael, my boy, he stopped calling after the verdict. Just stopped. Sarah comes when she can. Once a year, maybe twice. 16 years I've been doing math in my head. 5,140 days. I've counted everyone. That's 160 hours of sitting in a room and replaying the same 30 seconds. The sound of her falling, the sound of the ambulance, the sound of the judge saying, guilty. 3 sounds. That's my whole life now. 3 sounds on a loop. You lose everything in here, not all at once. That would be easier. You lose it in pieces. First the house, then the practice, then the friends, then your son stops calling, then your daughter visits less, then one morning you wake up and you're 80 years old, and the only person who says your name is the guard doing count at 6 a.m. I was a good man. I was a good husband. I keep my receipts. I balance my checkbook. I held that woman's hand every Sunday in church for 41 years. And they tell me I killed her. They tell me I killed her. Sometimes I sit here and I think about what I'd say to her. If I could, if she walked through that door right now, I'd say, I'd want to tell her that I don't know. I don't know what I'd say. Maybe I'm sorry. Maybe that's all there is. People in here, they tell their stories. Some of them did terrible things and they know it. Some of them didn't do anything and nobody believes them. And then there's people like me. People who were in the wrong place, at the wrong time. I was downstairs. I keep saying that because it's true. I was downstairs, and she was at the top of those stairs. And if I'd been up there, if I'd just been standing at the top instead of sitting in that kitchen, I hear that sound every night. The sound of her falling. It replays in my head like a movie I can't turn off. I just wish I'd been there, at the top, to catch her. She deserved better than this. Better than what happened. Better than what they said happened. And I deserved better than this room.